Yo, 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 yo. Welcome in. It is Mostly Hoops. My mic okay?
Yeah.
I can't hear myself. I have no snare. I can't hear myself.
Turn the music up, please.
We good, Cody?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Welcome in. Mostly Hoops. We got Tate. We got White Boy Rick in the big boy chair. Dana's out today. White Boy Rick is filling in for him in the big boy chair. Although the big boy chair, I noticed the big chair is actually smaller than the small chair. The small chair is a massive DraftKings.
I would say the throne is more of a big boy chair,
but be that as it may, you're here. We have a lot of ball to talk about, boys. It is Feast Week. I'm very excited to talk about that. I don't want to this is the problem with one show a week. Again, I'm going to say it every show until we go to 2 a week. We are going to eventually go to 2 a week. I can't hear myself, Cody. Can you fix this? Can we test this before the show?
You're good.
Okay. I'm going cans off then.
Okay.
You can't hear out of those?
I can't hear.
I can hear out of these. Do you want to wear these?
I want shit to work. That's what I want.
Stefan?
I just want shit to work. I can't hear myself, and it's breaking me. But anyway, I want to talk about Feast Week. I want to talk about all the shit going on. But we should look back. I forget the point I was making. We need to do 2 shows.
The point is that
we need to do 2 shows a week because
there's a lot of basketball last week.
Great week of college basketball, and I want to talk about it. But at the same time, how much value is there breaking down the Champions Classic? I don't know. I do know this. There's this note from college basketball that has emerged that ranked teams against unranked teams are 85-0 so far this season. What does this mean? Somebody explain to me what this means. The AP voters are right?
It's first on the sheet, Rick. You got to have a take on this one.
Yeah, I guess the AP voters are right this year, and I don't know, there hasn't been too much competitiveness from. I just failed on that.
Stole the words right out of my mouth. Titus, how about this?
That was bad. Let me reset. I don't know.
What did you say to me right before we started?
I'm ready. I want the ball.
Yeah. How do you think that went?
Dude, the big boy chair's a lot. The big boy chair's a lot. Okay, I missed the first shot of the game.
I
missed
like
the
a
first
big
shot of
boy
the game.
in that
We're
chair.
going to get back.
Do you want to go back to that chair? Would you be more comfortable? We can leave it open.
Maybe.
We should put
go back over
Okay.
there.
put Dana Beers' jersey on
Your
this.
headphones.
I don't know if mine are working either.
This might be a win for everybody. Check. No, these don't work yet. This is crazy.
I got a good set.
You got a good set?
Oh, yeah.
You got the best cans?
Yeah, I tested it out
Best
before.
cans on the show?
Titus, how about this one? NIL was supposed to create parity, right? Hey, everyone can pay players.
Right.
Is it not just, hey, turns out the teams that really care about basketball, the schools that care about basketball, are able to raise more money and able to pay more.
Yeah.
And those teams are still good and the other teams aren't? Has it created less parity?
But here's my question about going off of what you just said. Wasn't the Big East supposed to have an advantage in basketball because every other
The move was
all the other schools
have football and care.
And the money is going to football. Yeah. So the Big East is in a position where people. I saw people arguing that the Creighton job. McDermott's not going to leave there, but I'm just using that as an example. The Creighton job might actually be a better job than the Michigan State job,
right?
Because Michigan State is going to put money towards football, whereas Creighton won't. But then you look up now, and the Big East is awful. The Big East is dreadful. Butler or Georgia.
Other than the top two, might stink.
Who's the third best team in the Big East? Are we?
It might be Thad Matta's Butler Bulldogs.
Butler, by the way, are we waiting? Is this thing that they're saying about the Big East supposed to take effect next year, the year after? I don't know. I'm too stupid.
It was supposed to be the clear basketball schools. The Indianas of the world. They were supposed to continue to have, precedent with the big NIL situations. And that was the Big East because everyone else cares about football.
Yeah.
But that's just not happening.
It's not. The Big East is run down some Big East results. Marquette got blown out by Indiana.
I mean,
Xavier got a win last night, but they've looked pretty rough.
Got blown out by Santa Clara. And someone else. Creighton got smoked by Gonzaga.
Yeah. And they look bad in that second half. Gonzaga's got a great defense, but they look bad.
Butler doesn't look so bad, to be honest with you.
I swear.
Butler beats Virginia. Great win. So some stuff from last week that I want to hit on. First of all, Arizona beats Yukon in stores. The win of the year in college basketball, I would say. It was so Tyrus Reed is out, rolls his ankle. Dan Hurley's we have an ankle problem. They're still waiting on Mullins, the freshman star. I think he's supposed to be back in a few weeks. They have 2 rolled ankles now of guys who I assume Mullins is going to start for them. I don't really know. By the time he comes back, maybe Maybe he doesn't. Maybe Hurley likes his starting lineup and Mullings comes off the bench. I don't really know. I think the kid is good enough to start. And point is, two very important pieces for Yukon are out in this game. Arizona gets the win. I thought this was a game where both teams win because, one, Arizona, like I said, has the win of the year in college basketball. A very strong argument could be made for Arizona to be the number one team in the country. They should be ranked number one. Now, Purdue maybe heard that argument before they played Texas Tech and was like, not so fast. Watch this. Houston, I still think, is deserving of number one. Whatever. But Yukon is
Try the headphones now.
Headphones
I think
are
I
working?
have breaking news for you. Titus, can you hear that?
Check. We're back. What happened, Cody?
I don't know. I just fixed it.
All right. Yeah, we should. At least we're not live. We'll cut all this.
Yeah.
Yukon, though, I thought that, like, there's, at a program like Yukon, moral victory shouldn't be a thing. But at the same time, I do feel like Dan Hurley got what he wanted in the long term, which is his team played well, but it gives them a chip on their shoulder moving forward. It gives them something to work on, and you don't have your leading scorer, your leading rebounder. You're missing some pieces. I still believe in Yukon long term, but Arizona, the fact that their best players are freshmen and they're in this environment at Yukon store, the Gamble was fucking rocking. It was awesome to watch on TV. Every time Yukon put something together and you felt like they were about to get over the hump and they did take the lead late, Arizona had an answer and Koa Pete had an answer, and it was incredible to watch, and I'm very impressed with Arizona. They are the team that has surprised me the most to start the season.
So Arizona now has wins over Florida, UCLA, and Yukon. And that's the best resume in college basketball.
No question.
Now,
Best resume, yeah.
Purdue can say we went to Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama, and then, like you said, responded by beating Texas Tech by 30.
30.
But those are two teams right now. That's how you solidify a number one seed later in the year. Is everyone's going to get beat up in the conference play. When you can go into your conference play having wins like that, these two teams are two of the best teams in college basketball. What I think is interesting, we talked about how the Big 12 was probably the best conference in college basketball, and everyone was putting their hat on, Houston's the number one.
Yeah.
Well, not only does Houston look like one of the best teams in college basketball, Arizona might be the best team in college basketball.
Right.
This conference is an absolute problem.
BYU might be back. They learned how to pass. I'm watching that Wisconsin game. I'm like, what? Who is playing point guard for them? Where's Rob Wright? Who is this guy that's sharing the ball? Who's this guy that Rob Wright played the best game I've ever seen him play? BYU was they destroyed Wisconsin. And that's basically it. I think that's going to be the thing for me moving forward when I watch BYU is I'm just going to count how many times they pass.
And you you sniffed it out early in the text. You said this team figured something out.
If they pass, they're good. If they don't, they're not. And it's just that simple for BYU. They destroyed Wisconsin. But you're right. I think the Big 12 is the league that stands out to me. I mean, we talked about it last week that at this time last year, it felt like the SEC had kind of emerged as, the SEC is just going to be a little bit better than everybody. And then Feast Week happened, and you're like, yeah, it's the SEC and it's everybody else. And I don't think the Big 12 is necessarily there yet, but I do think the Big 12 has emerged for me as like a league that I'm going to be paying the most attention to, because we haven't even talked about Iowa State, Kansas, who ran this league forever and ever for multiple decades seemingly. Like it felt like Bill Self's run at the top of the Big 12 was 20 years. I forget how long it actually was, 15, something like that. They won like 13 of 15 Big 12 regular season championships. I forget the numbers. It got to a point where you just stopped counting because they won so many. They're the fifth best team now, sixth best team, and they're not even that bad. I think the Kansas team could be okay. They're going to be a forgettable as far as like.
I mean, Kansas won a share of 21 straight
regular season, yeah.
And like you said,
they dominate this league, and they're an afterthought now.
I was going to use that exact word. They're an afterthought right now. Now, like obviously, when Peterson is fully healthy and ready to go, this team is going to maybe not compete for the championship, but be a problem when you have to go to Fall Gallon and play against this Kansas team. They're going to factor into who's going to win this conference championship. What's insane, though, is when you talk Big 12, after 21 straight regular season conference titles, are they the fifth team you mention out of your mouth when you're talking about the Big 12?
Arizona, Houston, Iowa State, BYU. And then Kansas, is it, Rick? Who are we forgetting?
I think it's Kansas.
I think Kansas.
I mean, Texas Tech was supposed to be very good, but then Purdue said this is Big 10 basketball.
The Big 12's loaded. Mm-hmm. Having said that, like you still get these results where this is kind of the point I was making last week, is that just when you think things make sense and you want to be the conference guy, the guy that's like always bet on oh, we have a Big 10 versus Big 12 matchup, always bet on the Big 12 team to beat the Big 10 team. Then Purdue beats, like you watch BYU beat Wisconsin, and you're like, oh, yeah, the Big 12 is just better than the Big 10. And then Purdue plays Texas Tech, and you're like, oh, maybe it's not. Maybe these ideas that like conferences win games isn't the reality. But yeah, nothing really makes sense in terms of that. There's no like one conference that's like, oh wow, there were those 5 huge matchups between Big East and SEC, and Big East just won them all. Or that's not really happening. So it's hard to kind of suss out like which league you should be focusing on, which I think is great because you should just focus on all of them.
I think it's
just
great.
Watch them all.
And to tie it back into what we talked about at the top of the show, it's almost like, hey, all these conferences now are able to pay their players. The big-time programs are able to bring in dudes. So there's parity amongst the SEC and the Big 12 and the Big 10 and the ACC. Anyone could win the national championship from those conferences this year, but these ranked teams are just whooping up on them. Even though I will say this, it ends today. It ends today. Cody?
Yeah?
I want that predicted. I mean, there's so much basketball on today. There's 3 games tonight. Notre Dame, Kansas, the spread's only 5 points.
Whoa.
Oregon, Auburn, the spread's only 4 points. And San Diego State, Michigan, the spread's only 6 points. At some point, one of these top 25 teams is going to.
There's going to be an upset. We're going to see an upset. Yeah. That's what Feast Week's for.
But 85-0 is crazy.
Some other takeaways. And Rick, by the way, I gave you homework last night.
Yes.
Are you?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I know everything.
Because I think we'll do it that way. We have a play. We have a play that's like an easy 2.
Mm-hmm.
We're just gonna wait after the timeout. After timeout, we'll just draw the play up and we'll get you a layup.
All right.
I'm ready. All right. So stay ready. Some other takeaways I want to talk about from last week. Bama beats Illinois. Huge bounce back win for Bama. I still like this Illinois team. I find myself saying that about a lot of these teams. Like the teams that lose, I'm like, I still kind of like them. I will say overall, I don't love their. I don't want to poo-poo any teams because, like, if you're an Arizona fan, you're pumped about how the season's gone. Houston fans are excited. Purdue fans, like, there are a lot of teams that are optimistic. Louisville fans, oh my God, especially the depths of hell that they were in not too long ago as a program, and now all of a sudden Louisville's rolling and everything's good for them. So I don't want to like poo-poo the good vibes around, but I will say, Tate, that like I think all 4 Final Four teams are better than any team I've seen this year. I think that like I'm still waiting for like teams to emerge as
Florida,
which it's very early in the season, but
right.
Like I still feel like last year.
I think we were blessed last year too.
I think last year at this time I remember thinking like this Duke team is special. This Auburn team looks a little special. In some of these teams,
Florida's backcourt.
Yeah, Florida was the teams were sort of emerging. It'll all work itself out, but I don't know if there's a great team yet. I'm still waiting for that. I do think there are a lot of really good teams, and I find myself, like I did with Yukon losing at home to Arizona, I'm still like, I kind of like that. I still kind of like Yukon. Illinois loses to Bama, not at home, but effectively at home. Same sort of thing where I'm like, I'm not this doesn't make me not believe in Illinois moving forward. It just makes me back to like believe. It's a good bounce back win for Bama because Bama's problem against Purdue was just, frankly, like clutch plays. It was like down the stretch, LeBaron Philon was ass. He was just not good, and he was costing his team in big moments. And the exact opposite happened, and he bounced back against Illinois. And I think for me with Bama is at times it feels like they are not playing basketball. They're playing a spreadsheet. They're playing, they have no concept of time and score. They're just like spamming threes, and they're just like, oh, I'm open, I'm going to shoot it without like understanding like the emotions and the ebbs and flows of maybe let's hold for a good shot. I understand that for 38 minutes we were doing that, but what if on this possession we held for a good shot? What if on the, like they never, it feels at times like they don't really play that way. They're just like robots programmed to do this shit. And I think against Purdue, that stood out to me was like you kind of want a sense of the moment a little bit bigger, a little bit of bigger understanding of the sense of the moment. And I felt like they did that against Illinois. I felt like LeBaron Philon like knew the moment was his.
Well, I was boots on the ground for Illinois, Alabama with the mayor of Tuscaloosa. I was privileged enough to go with Rico Bosco to that game. One thing that I think is very funny is exactly what you're saying. They had not an assistant coach, but like a stats analytics guy come over and say hello to Bosco and whatever. And I'm talking to him. And I say, so how do we feel about tonight? And he goes, well, we're an analytically driven program, and the statistics show that we should win this game 65% of the time. That was his answer to me asking, how do you feel about it? There you go. I mean, he was the mayor. That equipment guy came over right away and said, Rico Bosco, But no, the guy was talking in analytics to me, and he goes, statistically speaking, we should win this game 65% of the time. Instead of, hey, they got some size over there, but if we can handle their front court, we're going to be okay. It was funny to hear. With that being said, watching the game, I'm optimistic about both teams. I don't think necessarily Alabama played their best game, but also Illinois missed 50%. They were like 12 of 24 from the free throw line. If they make those free throws, Nate Oates said it. Illinois, legit. Stojakovic, I knew he was good. I didn't know he had that.
He was awesome.
Did you guys? We knew he was good. Did you see the dunk?
The dunk was nasty. Yeah.
It had me going like it. I watched Peja was directly across from us. I watched Peja more than I watched the game.
How was Peja as a father, as a sports dad?
So he was like stoic in a way that his son would hit a step back three and he'd be like this. The whole place would be going nuts, cheering him on, and he wouldn't move. When that dude dunked, here it is. I didn't know he had it like this. No way. That got Peja off his feet.
Yeah.
On his feet. So very cool though.
Well, off his feet or on his feet?
On further review, they got him off his seat on his feet.
Off his seat and on his feet.
He was no longer on his seat.
So he stood up.
In layman's terms, yes.
Said differently.
Technically, yes.
He stood up. Other things I'll rip through because then I do want to talk about Feast. We have a lot of thoughts about Maui Invitational, the Players Era, what this week means to the college basketball calendar, yada, yada, yada. Champions Classic, frankly, is I'm not saying it's dead or it's not important anymore because it ebbs and flows. I mean, some years you have the 4 teams that are great and a lot of exciting prospects, and it is a premier event. Other years, it's not as much. This year, I think the doubleheader the following night of Arizona at Yukon and Bama at Illinois did kind of ruin the Champions Classic a little bit, like the hype for it, because I was more excited for the Wednesday slate than I was the Tuesday night. It was still a fine event until the thing tips off, and I still was like excited, whatever, had a little bit of hype for it. Then it tips off the first game, and Michigan State just wipes the floor with Kentucky. Now, Kentucky is a team I've been saying about a lot of these teams that, like, despite losing, I still kind of like them. I think Kentucky is teetering on, like, cultural problem. I feel like they're soft maybe. I'm a Mark Pope guy, but there's some weird vibes around Kentucky. And you could say that Jaden Quaintance isn't healthy, and, like, when he gets healthy, it's going to change everything, and he's a highly thought of prospect, and all of these are fair things to believe. But I just the fact that they've played 2 teams with a pulse and gotten destroyed in both games. In Kentucky, I said that to Reegs, and Kentucky fans came at me about the Louisville game, that Louisville blew them out. And they're like, we were down 4 with 2 minutes. Come on. If you watch that game, Louisville was in full control of that game. Louisville let you back into the game. Louisville handled Kentucky. Michigan State handled Kentucky. And it's a concern because I think Kentucky's really deep. I think the fact that they are so balanced is part of the appeal of them, but something just feels a little bit off with them right now, and that stood out to me. On the flip side, I love this Michigan State team so much.
Love them. They're gonna love to hear that in East.
Love them. Oh my God, they might be my.
Mean that?
They might. Tate, this.
Are you going over the top right now?
I am, because this might be my favorite. It's this. Tate, I'll say this. Can I walk it back a little bit? I love Tom Izzo, is what I love. And this team makes Tom Izzo is just fucking rock hard talking about this team, because we're living at a time, as is pointed out ad nauseum, the transfer portal and NIL, and if you grew up watching college basketball even 10 years ago, the sport is not recognizable in the way that it operates now. It's just changed. So much has changed so fast, and everybody's like, if you don't adapt, you're going to be left behind. That's how it works. And Jay Wright retires, and Tony Bennett retires, and it's sad to lose these legends of the game. But then there's like this loud contingent of people that's like, hey man, they couldn't adapt. Get the fuck out of the way. If you can't handle the new way, get the fuck out of the way. And Tom Izzo's just dug his heels in, and he's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm not anti-portal. I'm not saying I'm not gonna bring in transfers. I'm not saying I'm not gonna get my guys paid. What I'm saying is I've tried for decades now at Michigan State to build a culture of guys that fit my program, that buy in, that know how to crash the glass, that have take pride in playing great defense, and just like represent what Michigan State basketball has been about for a very, very long time. And it feels like a thing that should not work in modern. Like even a guy like Rick Pitino has come out and been like, I have to throw away everything I've known about college basketball. I don't even recruit guys anymore. I just go straight to. Rick Pitino will openly say, he said it on Part of My Take. I only go to the transfer portal, and he's an old guy that like Bill Self done the same thing, Tate. That these guys who were super successful for a long time are finding themselves having to adapt to the new thing. Tom Izzo said, fuck it, I'm going down with the ship. I'm going to do what I know is right, and I know how to build a winner. Last year they go to Elite Eight. This year they bring back like a core 4 of guys who none of them are, I mean, Fears was incredible against Kentucky, but none of these 4 guys they're bringing back are like lottery talents or like, you're putting together your preseason All-American list. You're throwing these guys on there. But they are guys that have been in the program for a long time. He brings in good freshman class, gets a couple transfers, and I don't know, just the way he's gone about it has been just so him. And I think what warms my heart, Tate, is that when he gets these wins against Kentucky and he does these post-game press conferences,
the whole team is behind him.
He's just like, I know I'm right, and I am right. And like, is Michigan State going to win the national championship this year? No, they're not. They're not going to win the national championship.
God damn it, Mark!
That Tom Izzo's proving that he can do it his way, and maybe they will go to a Final Four. Maybe they will. I don't know. They're still going to punch above their weight class. When you look at this roster, it's not a bad roster. I like a lot of the players, but like when you think of like the teams that are Final Four good, national title good, and they have lottery picks jumping off the page at you, and they have like all of these 5-star recruits jumping off. Like Michigan State isn't quite on that level, and yet they're still. I think they're going to be in the mix of all these top teams just because of the buy-in with the group.
You are such a piece of shit. You do the same thing every time, and the Michigan State fans repeat it. You are nice, and I was waiting for 2 things to come out of your mouth. One, now can they win the national championship?
No,
they
can't.
Why did you have to say that?
Because they can't. Because I don't want people
the king of East Lansing with that rant. Until you end it with they can't.
Because I'm getting ahead of myself. Because when Tom Izzo loses in like the Sweet 16 this year, people are gonna say he sucks and he's gonna win 25 games and lose in the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8, and you're gonna be like, damn, Tom. For being such a great coach, why does Tom Izzo only have 1 title? And then the haters come out, and I'm just getting ahead of that. I'm saying that like you can have a successful season and put together and prove that your way works without winning national championships.
I do have to give you credit though, because the other thing that comes out of your mouth whenever you talk Michigan State is nice. Now they can't shoot the ball either, and they
shot the ball so well against Kentucky.
Well, when they can shoot the ball, it looks pretty good.
Yeah. They are shooting 29% from 3, which is 285th in the country. Okay. So Mark did not point that out. I pointed that out.
Thank you, Tate.
I pointed that out.
But yeah, I think last year, I said last year, I was like, this is just such a classic Izzo team that everything I'm saying so far about this year's team applied last year, and I think that's just that's why I love them. Is that like if it was any other coach, is Tom Izzo the best coach in college basketball? I mean, I don't know. Sure, I don't know. There are a lot of great coaches, but if you took Tom Izzo off of this Michigan State team and you put any other coach there and said, coach these guys, I don't think they're good. I don't think they're that good. They might miss the tournament.
I think all of his guys that came back have like taken a step forward too.
Yeah.
Like you talk about like you miss player development, guys staying in one place and getting developed. Cohen Carr went from a guy who can just dunk the ball to he's going off the dribble a bit now. He can pass a little bit. He made a 3 I saw against Kentucky. Like,
what about Kerr Tang, who was like barely played last year as a freshman, and then he's awesome.
Yeah.
Suddenly,
I think it's
I don't know. I just admire the way.
I think it's pretty cool that if Izzo would have stepped away, like we've had a lot of really good coaches decide that this era of college basketball is no longer for them. Tony Bennett steps away. Jay Wright steps away. Bruce Pearl steps away. Tom Izzo would be very well within his rights to say, hey, I can't do it the way I've always done it. So now it's time for me to step down. Like a lot of others have. Tom Izzo's still doing the same shit. They're still playing the same basketball.
I thought he was going to do that when Amani Bates decommitted from Michigan State. I remember that whole saga, and I was like, this is going to kill Tom Izzo. I think Tom Izzo is going to look around and be like, the game has passed me by, and the exact opposite has happened, and it warms my heart.
Have you seen that clip of like Cam Ward in high school? He's in an AAU game, and he like dunks on a guy, and he tells him, you don't work hard.
No.
One of the funniest clips I've ever seen.
You don't fucking work hard.
That's the Izzo guy.
On a layup too. That's incredible. Well,
That's
Tom
guy.
Izzo. One more thing on Michigan State that I don't know why teams. I feel like teams believe that Michigan State plays in the Big Ten. They play great defense. They can't shoot. They grind out games. They dominate on the glass. And a lot of teams that check those boxes are teams that don't want to push the ball in transition. And it always seems to catch teams off guard that Michigan State loves to push the ball. And I don't know, that just stood out to me against Kentucky, that Michigan State in the second half just got out in transition. And it always, every time I watch Michigan State get out in transition and like throw oops to Co and Carr and all of that, I do feel like the other team is always like a little surprised by that, even though they've done this for like 20 years.
Just the colors and the coach and the
you just assume that Michigan State is going to play like a rock fight and walk the ball up the floor, and then they don't. And it just feels like every team that scouts Michigan State just forgets about that.
Perhaps an
it's
advantage.
like, oh fuck, they're gonna push tempo a little bit. This is crazy. A couple other things from. Oh, I had one more takeaway from Champions Classic. This is going to blow your fucking mind, Tate. This is going to get you off your seat and on your feet.
I'm ready.
I don't know if I like Duke. I don't know if I like Duke.
Coming out of the closet with that.
I don't know if after all the glazing I did last year, and I got accused of sucking Duke a lot last year, and I did. I admittedly did. I thought that Duke team last year was special. I don't really love this team.
So you're hopping off the bandwagon of a 7-0 team, number one in Ken Pom.
That has the best player in the country, probably.
Right.
Cam Boozer, yeah.
And what is your reasoning then for
I think Cam Boozer is as good as advertised. I do think that he's the favorite on DraftKings to win National Player of the Year, and I think it's rightfully so. I think he's an incredible scorer, incredible rebounder, probably the best passer on the team. I don't even know if it's probably. I think it is. I think he's the best passer on the team. I think Cam Boozer is every bit as good as advertised. I like Isaiah Evans a lot. I love Isaiah Evans. I think the rest of the roster is just kind of okay. I think the rest of the roster is okay. I don't think the perimeter. I think Caleb Foster being your perimeter playmaker is not a winning combination. Like as far as long-term national title type aspirations. And I think they have a lot of stuff to figure out despite winning these games. Like I think they have two really, really good players. Mm-hmm. Even Isaiah Evans, who's a shooter, he's not really a playmaker. That's the issue. I think Cam Boozer is their best playmaker. They play through him, and he creates stuff for everybody else. Basically it's just like the lack of a perimeter playmaker. It's a lack of a guy that can initiate offense and get shit going, and that worries me.
I would say that's an interesting take out of you though, as you know, the odds, like you said, Boozer's now the favorite to win the Wooden Award. And also before the season, Duke and Louisville were kind of neck and neck as who was to win the ACC. Louisville has been, in my opinion, as advertised, if not better than expected when they beat Kentucky. The odds have completely shifted where Duke is now minus money and Louisville's up to plus 350. So there are people out there that think this Duke team is pretty good.
They think they're good, yeah. And they, I mean... Those two, Cam Boozer is that good. Like I think when I say I don't like him, I mean I mean in terms of like Duke teams. Right. I like even as every Duke team is good, but like last year's team I thought was like even compared to all the other Duke teams, special. I thought they were like a little bit better than your typical Duke team. I feel like this team is just a typical Duke team, which is still good.
Right. So when you put this team on a scale, when you talk about other teams, you talk about can they win a conference, can they win a couple tournament games? You're saying is this a national championship all-time great Duke team, and you're saying it's not.
What I've seen so far, I don't believe that. I'm worried about the perimeter playmaking. I think Louisville's guards are they're way better than Duke's guards, and I think that's going to be interesting. But Cam Boozer's that good, and maybe he carries them. Maybe his brother emerges as like a perimeter playmaker. You know, maybe he starts getting by the late season. It's just like, fuck, we got to play this guy more and let him create, and let the brothers run a 2-man game or something. But I think right now it's like Isaiah Evans bombs threes and is awesome at it. But like he can score in bunches. I think Cam Boozer does it all. And then the rest of the team, I'm just like, honestly, it's just an okay roster, and I don't know. Yeah, that's what stood out to me. I think if this was the NBA and I was running Duke, I would go after Braden. I would set up a trade for Braden Smith, where I would give like 5 first-round picks, 5 future 5 stars. I would just throw everything at Purdue and be like, give me Braden Smith. That's what we need badly.
And then you win the Natty.
And then we win the Natty this year. And then Purdue can get our next 5-star recruits.
I don't hate that. I think college should be allowed 1 trade per year.
Yeah,
1 midseason upgrade.
1 midseason upgrade.
Or one person's pissed at their situation and they want to enter the portal midseason. You get 1 upgrade.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this though, Duke, we're gonna find out, if your take's right or wrong in about the next 2 weeks. Their next 3 games, Thanksgiving night, they play Arkansas. Then they play Florida and then Michigan State. That's
it's a stretch. It's a stretch. Yeah, so there's your Champions Classic. I think we talked about. I mean, BYU destroyed Wisconsin. Purdue beat Texas. That was impressive. Purdue had 7 scores in double figures. Nobody scored more than 15. Clough had 15.
15 and
That
15.
box score was crazy.
It was like as balanced of scoring as you can get. It was unbelievable. The defense was unbelievable. They won on like a 20-0 run, was it, Rick? Something like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't that shit kind of bother you though? Like there's nothing I hate more than when you're excited about a matchup and you sit down to watch the game.
Yeah.
And the game fucking sucks because
it is a bummer.
One team's up by 20.
It is a bummer. But it was. I mean, Memphis played Purdue pretty well in the Baja Mar. They're playing in ballrooms, which now we can shift. I think we can shift away from what happened last week and talk about Feast Week a little bit. Did you see, first of all, as I'm going to talk about games in ballrooms, did you see the Northwestern South Carolina, the end of that game? It's a tie game.
Uh-huh.
Northwestern, Cody, do you have the clip? Show the people the clip. Northwestern scores. So this part is cool. It's the game winner, and normally I would pay more attention to the game winner because it is a tie game. But watch what happens after the game winner. And we have it covered, but there's like less than a second left now. So South Carolina's down 2, and they have to heave it. And it hits the ceiling.
Now, are you in or out on that?
So this is the Greenbrier, I think, is what this tournament was called. Butler ended up winning this tournament. But then the Baja Mar, which Purdue won in 49 states. In 49 states, it's just basketball in a ballroom. Mm-hmm. But Purdue and Butler are winning their ballroom tournaments. Purdue, it seemed like the game against Memphis, like the ballroom was fucking everything up. I guess I'll ask you guys first. How do we feel about basketball in a ballroom? Because I will say, it is as apt a name, like the name is ballroom.
So maybe what they invented it for.
Maybe it was like one of those things that I don't know what the term is. The when you name something and then it you name your one son winner and one son loser. Uh-huh. The winner becomes you named it ballroom and the ball found its way to you. But I can't stand watching it, if I'm completely honest. It does feel so fucking weird.
But anything outside of the middle and end of November, it would be the worst thing to ever happen.
I think it's a part of like the charm of Feast Week is you're watching basketball in a ballroom.
Now, I don't know if I would want to take my team to it. Like, we can talk about it later, but Danny Hurley has made it very clear what his situation is with these multi-team events and everything.
Yes.
I don't know if I would want my team to go to an event where you don't know who you're going to play the next day and you got to play multiple days in a row and you're throwing, shots off the ceiling to win it. With that being said, I do like sitting down in November and watching shots go off.
Shots hitting the ceiling.
It's like playing basketball out here in our gym.
Yeah, it is. I don't understand why though. Why, like, is there not another gym on the island? Can we not just
let's raise the roof a little bit?
Can we raise the roof? Can Baja Mar at this point, if you're gonna host these tournaments, can you just like build a little gym off to the side? That's all. I'm fine with everything except the low ceiling. That's really it.
But it's kind of funny.
Just get rid of the low ceilings.
Like when you play in a rec league and it's like, all right, guys, we do have a low ceiling, so if it hits that, it's a jump ball.
All right, guys. So the corner, if you look at the way the lines are drawn, our feet, you actually can't shoot a corner three. You're gonna have to turn your feet sideways. So guys, let's just keep that in mind.
I actually want that in one of these events. It's like, hey, no corner threes. We don't have corner threes in this.
We just simply don't have room. It's just there's just like some old gyms in Indiana, like back in the day, they just like have like a stage that was like butting up against the baseline.
I played on one of those growing up.
And you're just
right
like
off to the side. That's where you sat on the benches on the stage. And
was that where the student section was? Stage on a student. Sorry to go off topic.
Yeah.
Stage on a high school student section on a stage gets me going.
They'd sometimes
it was middle school for me. So
they sometimes put the bands up there.
Oh yeah.
Let the bands be on the stage. But then you'd be like, all right, well, if you're going in to shoot a layup, like hit the brakes
right
really quick, or else you're gonna just drill the stage. Yeah, Feast Week is here, man. We have the Players Era tournament, which, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell the people about Fabletics, and then Rick.
All right.
It's your time
we're going to draw up a play for Rick.
Timeout.
We're going to call a timeout. Fabletics feels just as premium as those other expensive brands, but without making your wallet cry. When you signed up as a new VIP, you get 80% off of everything. The quality is really surprising. These pieces feel like the kind of high-end activewear you'd pay $200 for, but you're getting that level of quality at a fraction of the price. That makes the membership feel like it pays for itself, and the fit and feel are dialed in. No waistbands rolling down, joggers that actually keep their shape, jackets that are warm without the bulk. It solves the usual issues we've had with activewear while still being soft, breathable, and durable enough for workouts, travel, or everyday wear. The holidays always sneak up on us, and we find ourselves scrambling for gifts. This year, I'm getting ahead of it with Fabletics. They've nailed this exclusive quality and fit that honestly no other brand can claim at this price point. Fabletics already has amazing deals, but right now they're running their biggest sale of the year on top of that, and I've got an exclusive offer just for you guys, 80% of everything when you sign up as a VIP. Head to fabletics.com/mostly and sign up as a VIP to get 80% off everything. This is only available through our link here, so go to fabletics.com/mostly to sign up as a VIP and get 80% off. That's fabletics.com/mostly. All right, I tasked Rick with homework last night, and the homework is this. Explain the format of the Players Era Festival. The Players Era, for those who are not aware, is the thing that is killing the Maui Invitational. The Maui Invitational is on life support, one of the worst fields in Maui Invitational history, and that's in large part because this thing has popped up in Las Vegas called the Players Era Festival. It started last year, I believe, where teams, you can now pay players. So teams, someone had the bright idea, like what if we did a little tournament situation where players, if you win, you get money. The players get a share of the winnings. And obviously, you know, schools are like, our players would love that. We should go do that. Maybe a lot of help with recruiting guys if we can get them a little bit more money. So the Players Era is this emerging thing. It is the in terms of the talent pool, it is the event to watch this week. There's so many teams. There are 17. I'm looking at this graphic that Cody put on the sheet. There are 17 teams in Ken Palm's top 100 and out of the 18 teams that are in the field. But as you look at this thing that Cody's putting on the screen, and you're looking at an 18-team tournament, my homework for Rick was this. What the fuck is this tournament? How does the tournament work? What is the formatting?
It's bad. So unfortunate news for any college basketball fans that might be fans of a bracket. We don't have a bracket, which I think if you're going to host a basketball tournament, it's very simple. You just got to give us a bracket.
You have to have a bracket. Well, so how does it work? What is the format?
There's 2 pods, okay?
Okay.
There's 1 pod with 10 teams, 1 pod with 8 teams.
I'm pissed off already, but go on.
Also, I got to jump in. Players Era, do you know what the pods are called?
No.
They just named them after the stadium. Or after
yeah.
It's the Mick Ultra Pod, Mick Ultra Arena Pod, and the MGM Grand Arena Pod. I feel like you could have like names for what they are.
Oh my God.
Continue.
So 10 teams in 1 pod, 8 teams in the other pod.
Okay.
Even.
You only play the first 2 games. You play
leave this up. Leave this up, Cody, because
pod.
I'm going to need this for visual reference.
First 2 games you play only 2 teams within your pod.
Okay.
After that, the first place in 1 pod and the first place in the other pod are going to play each other for the championship.
You only play 2 teams in your pod.
Yes. You play 2 games.
But if there are 10 teams in the pod, I play 2 teams, I go 2-0. There's a good chance you play 2 teams and you go 2-0, and we never play each other.
And that's why I love it. But continue.
Yes.
So what do?
It's based on point differential. So we're going to see some teams run the fucking score up this week.
Because remember, the winner, Mark, the winning team, you got to make the championship. Everyone gets paid to start, but if you win, you get another $1 million to your NIL.
Yeah.
If you
get $1 million just for showing up, by the way. It's not only
we should have shown up.
Exactly.
We should have gone.
If you come in second.
You like that, Cody?
If you're the runner-up, you get $500,000. So the difference between winning a game and making, or winning a game by 50 to hopefully get a chance to play for $1 million is literally, hey, if we can blow you out, keep the starters in, keep the press on, we need to make that championship game.
So if you're watching the Players Era, do not expect to see any sportsmanship. There will be no sportsmanship. There will be financial. Pull that up again. Financial benefits of the Players Era Festival: $1 million to everyone playing, another $1 million for the champion, $500. $300 for 3rd place, $200 for 4th place. There you go.
But how do you? So I was looking at the odds on DraftKings of like who's going to win the Players Era. How do you decide? Like, do you think Houston is going to win by more points?
Yeah, because Houston's a good example that they aren't a team that blows teams out traditionally. Like they are a team that just kind of like keeps you at arm's length and grinds you down.
And like Michigan, I'm not saying,
but I think they're the best team,
right?
But they're not probably going to have the highest point differential.
And Michigan isn't as good as we thought they were at the beginning. But Michigan's a team that I think is very good. They also squeak out wins in the end. Is it not good enough just to win?
To win the game. What happened to winning the game?
Yeah, tough weekend. We went 3-0, placed 6th in the tournament.
This sucks.
That's going to happen. So it's.
I mean, I like the idea, but that's very annoying.
Well, next
the
year,
fact that there's no bracket is annoying.
Next year they're going to 32.
It's you play 3 games no matter what, which is a big draw for these coaches. Tate was kind of talking about it earlier. Like, you go to a tournament and you have no idea how long you're going to be there. You have no idea who you're going to play. So it gives the coaches more control of like who they're playing and travel and all that. But I think that's part of the beauty of college basketball. Is you go to these feast week tournaments, you don't know how long your team's going to make it, and you plan the trip for the whole week.
The biggest difference is that teams lose money when they go to Maui.
Yes.
And teams are making – like all the players want now is to get paid. So if you can take your team to Maui and take them on a Hawaii trip, or you can go to Vegas where you're getting paid at least $1 million, if not $2 million, that then your roster gets better next year. That's why Maui's dying, is because there's this –
I know, because it used to be these athletic departments had such a surplus of cash that they had to spend it, or else I don't know. They that seems to be their operating procedures. Like, if we don't spend it, we die. Right. So we have to spend all this money. So they'd just be sitting on a mountain of cash, and they'd be like, why not send our basketball team across the world to play on a tropical island? It was awesome. And now the exact opposite line of thinking. And now you look up. The Maui Invitational is just in a sad state of affairs. It breaks my heart. It really does. This is as important to me. I think the Maui Invitational to me is the second most important college basketball event behind the NCAA tournament, and I believe that. I think there's just something like magical about this week with it. And I've been out to a handful of them, and you think that like it's just because you're in paradise, like that's the appeal of going, or that's the appeal of the event, is that you're in fucking Hawaii. I would go to the Maui Invitational if I had to every single year, and like if I had to like sign a contract where I can't step outside, I can't go to the beach, I can't go to the pool, I would still do it. The basketball is incredible. The loudest atmosphere I've ever experienced in a basketball arena in my entire life was when Creighton played Arkansas, which wasn't even the Maui final. It was like, I think, the semifinal. Creighton played Arkansas a few years ago. I've never heard a gym so loud. The atmosphere is it's number one, not even close. It's like and it's an answer that no one would expect. They're like, what's the loudest arena you've ever been in? I'm like, Lahaina Civic Center when Creighton played Arkansas. And if you were there, you would back me up on it. But like, very few people were there. That's what made it so loud. It's just like a small, cramped environment. I think the hoops, the basketball that is played there is always just perfect because the vibes are so good. Seemingly every player is just like feeling good. The depth perception, the soft rims, like you can shoot better. I don't know. Everyone just has like the mojo going a little bit. Like everyone just feels like they have their A game, it seems. And I don't know. I've loved the Maui Invitational my entire life, and it breaks my heart that you look up now. NC State will make the tournament, I think. USC will make the tournament, I think. Texas could make the NCAA tournament. Outside of that might be it. You have 2.5 teams. Maybe 3 teams in this Maui field will make the NCAA tournament. That is so sick. You know that the Maui champion for the last 7 or 8 years, going back to Notre Dame won it the last time Mike Bray was there, and he took his shirt off and flexed and had the trophy in the locker room and all that. That Notre Dame team ended up missing the tournament, and they were on the bubble and they missed the tournament. But every Maui champion since then, which I think was 2017, has been the lowest seed in the NCAA tournament has been a 3 seed, Tate.
Wow.
So like basically winning the Maui Invitational is saying like we are one of the best teams in the country. This is, you stamp it. We're one of the best teams in the country. That has been the case for really virtually every Maui. There are some here and there where that's not the case, like the Notre Dame one, whatever. But like generally, whoever wins the Maui Invitational is an announcement. We are one of the best teams in the country, and that's not going to be the case this year. It's probably not going to be the case next year.
Next year's field, I will say.
Next year's field is better.
They do have BYU and Arizona going, but aside from that, not a stretch. What I will say, though, is this. I think the Maui right now is just like a perfect example of college sports in general. Like, It doesn't matter what name is across your chest. It doesn't matter that you can say we have the beach, we have the history, we have the tradition. The kids want to get paid. So the Maui Invitational, you can say you want to be the commissioner and you want to make it this and that. Unless they find a way to pay, to get the sponsors right so they can pay kids and they can pay teams to come there, no one is going to turn down $1 million payday to pay to go somewhere.
Yeah. So, I have to get if I'm going to be the commissioner, I got to get the players paid.
That's exactly right.
Saudis. It's gonna have to be the Saudis.
How do you
have to get the
Maui
Saudis
to come up with 10 mil?
What's that?
The Saudis. I'm gonna have to get the Saudis.
I don't hate
involved.
that. The Saudi Arabia Maui Invitational.
Yeah, and then we just move it to Saudi Arabia. The Maui Invitational. It breaks my heart, man, because Maui, like it all happened so fast that COVID made them move the Maui Invitational away from Maui for a couple years. It was in Asheville, then it was in Vegas. Then they get it back to the island, but then the fires happen and they devastate the entire island of Maui, and especially like Lahaina, the whole area. I haven't been back since the fire, so I haven't seen it, but like everything you read and the pictures you see is just tragic. So then they moved it the 1 year to the Big Island or to Honolulu, wherever. And so you have you have a run where it's like 3 Maui Invitationals aren't even in the Lahaina Civic Center. And that was devastating to the event. And then Bill Walton dies, which maybe not like no, I'll say it. It's like a direct impact on the event. Like that, he was part of the appeal. Totally. It was like you turn on the Maui Invitational and you see this guy just seemingly on peyote or like mushrooms. Who the fuck knows what he's taking? Ayahuasca. And he's got sunglasses on and a Hawaiian shirt, and he's talking about anything but the game in front of you. And
it's
you got
11 p.m. You're delirious from watching ball, and Bill Walton's going on the most insane rants you've ever heard.
All of this is part of the experience, yeah. And now who the hell knows who's stepping in his place? And Billis does the best he can, but it's like not.
Maybe you, Mark.
It should be me, man.
Yeah.
It should be me. I want to save the Maui Invitational, but it feels like all of this stuff just happened so fast. The 2019 version was fine. I'll do it. I'll save the Maui Invitational. Yeah, that was me in 2021.
Good pull on that tweet.
Good pull, Cody. The 2019 version was Kansas, Dayton, Obi Toppin versus Udoka Azubuike. Devon Dotson was on that Kansas team. We ended up not getting the NCAA tournament that year, but that final, the Maui Invitational Championship that year was unbelievable. Went to overtime. One of the best college basketball games I've ever seen, and basically ever since then. It's just been like a slow, like last year's field was really good, but it's just been there's been problems left and right. Like you can't have 1 year of Maui Invitational without somebody pointing to something and saying, yeah, but this sucks. And last year I thought it was going to be good, but then Dan Hurley goes 0-3, and as good as the field was last year, and the tournament was awesome, but then Dan Hurley, instead of just having like a stress-free Maui Invitational, Dan Hurley's like, this tournament fucking sucks. We're never coming back. And Maui just can't win. Maui can't win.
And it ruined him, too. Did you see Dan Hurley talk about Thanksgiving?
Mm-hmm.
Not celebrating on Thursday.
Yeah, we're doing it on Wednesday. Tryptophan makes my team sleepy. I don't want to have them sleep. We're not going to. Here's the quote. Oh, you just play it. Yeah, play it.
We're going to celebrate our Thanksgiving on Wednesday as a team. We're going to eat what's in the turkey, Bobby? No. What makes people sleepy? Tryptophan. So we're not going to eat the fucking tryptophan on Thursday and be sluggish as shit on Friday. So we're going to eat the tryptophan, the turkey and everything on Wednesday, so that all the tryptophan is out of our system by the time we get to MSG.
All right. Can I say this? And Dan Hurley doesn't give a shit about what I have to say, and Yukon fans made that clear last year. Mm-hmm. Can I get more of this out of Dan Hurley and less the other guy, the guy on the other team gave a half-ass blockout and fucked the Maui Invitational and 2 rings Baldy, and although 2 rings Baldy was kind of funny. I did think that was kind of funny. But more of this out of Dan Hurley.
But if you don't think this is all connected, I still think this is because they played poorly around the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Dan Hurley is the only reasons they lost in Maui last year were because it was 3 straight days, the refs were fucking terrible, and it was around Thanksgiving. And he's not over it.
My problems with Dan Hurley are just like if he keeps it in house, I don't mind. If he gets his team going, gets the fans going, and all that, I don't mind. If he has he says wild shit in press conferences, I generally don't mind. As long as he's not attacking like other players on other teams. And he went after the Maui Invitational, and that's just like that's an unforgivable sin in my eyes, going after the Maui Invitational. So we showed the South Carolina buzzer beater that went horribly wrong. Did you see the USC? USC beat Troy.
All-time game.
What a crazy shot that was. And yeah, as we're talking about the Maui Invitational, USC is out there, by the way, in the Maui Invitational. Eric Musselman, who was coaching Arkansas at the game that the Creighton game that I was at the Maui Invitational. Yeah, he was at Arkansas for that one. Which, by the way, when that game happened, I think that was when Muss got. I just thought about that. Muss has a bad history at Maui. Muss. I'm pretty sure last time Muss was at Maui, he like hunted the refs down at the hotel, is what I heard. After the Creighton game, I think Arkansas lost that Creighton game. They did, because then Creighton played Arizona in the championship. And Muss was so mad at the refs that like he went back to the hotel. That was the story I heard. I didn't see it with my own eyes. I'm speculating, or whatever the word is, allegedly.
Worst officiated game he's ever seen.
Yeah.
And he's coached a lot of games.
Yeah, Muss has USC out there now, so keep an eye on that. Muss was, that was my precursor to Hurley, because Muss, I was so pissed at Muss because he was shitting all over him. I was like, you do not come to this island and behave that way, Eric Musselman. Get the fuck out of here. And then a few years later, Dan Hurley did it. Yeah, this is crazy.
Thing, though. There's two things that Maui still has the door open to, and one is that the Players Era, Invitational tournament has not figured it out, because there's 18 teams and you can go 3-0 and not win the thing. That's something you can fix. Two, Players Era will never be able to do what that is, which is dress their coaches up in Hawaiian
shirts
and then
motherfucking
like,
rest.
Everything is supposed to be so chill.
I know.
And you look like
I know.
It's the best.
We have Bobby Hurley's out there too with Arizona State.
Oh, and he'll let you have it.
Yeah,
he'll let you have it.
So not Arkansas, USC and Arizona State don't play each other out of the gate, but they might. Of course, there's a chance they would. That would be funny to have those two coaches.
It's those three teams you listed: USC, NC State, and what was the other one?
Seton Hall plays NC State, USC plays Boise, Washington State, Chaminade, and then Arizona State, Texas.
Yeah, I want Arizona State.
It's NC State, USC, Texas as like the favorites, and then there's a huge drop off.
Yeah, I want Arizona State to play USC somehow, some way, and just have those two coaches in Hawaiian shirts. I want them to wear sunglasses, lays, flip flops, and then just motherfuck each other and the refs the entire game. Pull up the USC buzzer beater, Cody. Show the people this one. This is crazy.
It's deflected into the arms.
Troy's up two. Errant pass.
Bellamy, stolen by Rice. There's still time left. It's Marsh for the win.
That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable shot.
Start it again, Cody.
Looks.
Rice.
Here's my problem.
Time left.
Cody, be ready to go. Okay. From the beginning.
Great challenge, by the way.
Okay, that guy right there has the ball.
Yeah, how much time?
Watch where that guy is at the end of this.
Stolen by Rice. There's still time left. It's Marsh for the win.
He doesn't do shit.
Wait, the guy. Hold on. Run that back. The guy who throws the pass. Hold on. Just
watches the rest of it happen.
Oh.
Lead to Bellamy. Stolen by Rice. There's still time left.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything.
Marsh for the win.
Oh! And then he goes, oh no.
And then he goes, oh no.
That's the type of thing.
Was that me? Did I do that?
Up for days.
Shades of Kihei Clark. Remember that one against Furman in an NCAA tournament when he just try to find that, Cody.
And Cody, if
Kihei
we're doing
Clark
buzzer beaters, I mean, we had Miles Colvin had one.
Oh, dude, they ran the Valpo. They ran the Pacer play. Yeah, here's Pacer.
This play was sick.
This is the play.
Again, I got a problem with red shoes. That's terrible. He's ball watching. Watch the defense here. Watches the entire thing. Oh fuck! There we go.
Dude, if you're guarding and if you're playing defense in one of these situations, how do you not just have Pacer? That's the name of the play, the made famous by Bryce Drew all those years ago. How do you not have that at the front of your mind? They're gonna do this.
It's this if you need to go deep, and it's 21 pitch if you got time.
That's right. That's right. Those are the only two plays that anyone knows, and they always work.
And how do you catch him off guard? Cody, I need one more buzzer beater up there because my favorite of the week, you have to show the Arizona State women's one. It puts both of these to shame. It's good work, Cody.
Wow, Cody.
Elliott on the wraparound. 2 seconds to shoot it. She lost it. Washington's the last second.
Oh, my God.
Lefty.
Oh, my God.
On the wraparound. 2 seconds to shoot it. She lost it. Washington's the last second. Heave.
I love that she
to stay
stole
undefeated
it from her teammate.
Fuck yes, she did.
Give me
Fuck yeah, she did.
You obviously don't know what the hell you're doing. Give me that shit. Give me that. No, I got it. I'll take it. Watch this.
And that's just good coaching.
That's awesome.
out of Arizona State.
Who is their coach, by the way? I'm not aware. Arizona State's
Pull up
women's
the coach, Cody.
Pull up the women's coach. I'd love to
She's a very good coach.
learn more about her. I want to call attention as we wrap up here to Loyola Chicago. Cody put this on my radar. How bad Loyola Chicago has been. Oh, yeah, pull. Now I noticed. I can't help but notice, Cody, when you search Arizona State, go back. Don't leave now. Go back. When you searched Arizona State women's basketball coach, you went ahead and clicked on the images tab more so than the all tab or the news tab.
You said you wanted to see what you.
Why is that?
Also, did you say how he got there?
Why is that?
He didn't go to Google. He went to history.
You went to
What?
You hit the back button 3 times.
Chill. Why the link purple?
I'll say it. She's beautiful.
Good coach.
She's beautiful. Yeah, and she's beautiful. Loyola Chicago has lost their last 5 games and are currently 1-5. A Loyola Chicago fan tweeted, "If Loyola Chicago loses to NIU today, I will run as many miles as NIU's largest lead was before they lost by 17." Is that what 25? They were down 25 at one point.
No, 20. This guy.
What is it Sister Jean? Did Sister Jean die and kill the program? I didn't realize they were that bad. And then Cody, you sent me this a couple times that at halftime of their latest game, their halftime show was just 6 dudes playing 3-on-3, which I actually don't think is that bad. I think someone tweeted this out like, look how far this program has fallen. That instead of getting Red Panda or whatever, we just have dudes playing. Honestly, I don't have a problem with this. Dudes hooping is funny.
Think if you guys you go back to an Ohio State game and they're like, all right, we're playing for $1,000 at halftime. It's Titus, Greg Oden, and William Buford versus 3 fans.
Yeah,
that'd be incredible.
That'd be so fun. Yeah, I think my number one halftime show. I've been on record. I'm gonna say it again for the first time this year. Local youths playing ball is the best halftime.
Well, were you in the cave with me the other day? We were watching, and during the Celtics game, they let two kids teams play, and they played 6-on-6, and they didn't take the ball out after the. So they would take it out of the hoop, and then they would, and just Rico Bosco was like, "You gotta take it out."
Loyola is. It says here 300. What is this? Is this Bart Torvik? 335th in the country in Bart Torvik. Yeah, they're in a bad spot. And, they lost to Mercyhurst. They lost to Cody's alma mater. I think Mercyhurst did this to them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, shout out Leger Jones. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Florida State was 10 for 21 from 3. Those are the only shot attempts he had. I forget who they played, but I saw that stat line and made me laugh. He had like 36 points, shot 21 times. All of them were threes. Yeah, 21 threes against Georgia Southern. He was 10 for 21 from the field, 10 to 21 from 3. All right, enjoy Feast Week, everybody. I love this week. It is. I think it's up there with the start of the NCAA tournament. I think there's so much great basketball. The Players Era tournament, it's going to be impossible to follow, but just know that there's great games on every night, and turn on your TV and watch whatever's in front of you.
And we'll be back next Monday.
We will be back next Monday, despite it being a holiday week. Doesn't stop us.
That's right.
We'll be back next Monday, and we will figure out 2 a week. We'll figure out the formatting too. I was talking to Tate. I want him to host the show more and kind of run point on everything, so the conversation flows a little better. Yeah, so we'll do that. Dana will be back, and the show will be great. But I love what we got so far. I think White Boy Rick. I think you said. I think you found your chair. I think you settled in nicely.
Yeah. No, as soon as I sat down here, I felt the.
It's fine. You can stay there.
The lights are literally too bright over there.
Yeah, it's okay.
And metaphorically,
you did well with the Players Era tournament. So thank you for that. All right, guys. See ya.